Department of Commerce and Management, Sheshadri Degree College, Mysuru would like to welcome our today's resource person, Dr. Ramesh Salyan, our chairman, Shri B.A. Arantram sir, our dear principal, Professor Soumya Irappa K, all the staff members and our dear students to this online student development program and seminar on the topic uplifting of Indian economy post-COVID-19. Now, with immense pleasure, I would like to introduce our today's resource person, Dr. Ramesh Salyan, to all the participants of this session. Dr. Received his MPhil and PhD from Mangalore University and is currently the Deputy Registrar for Evaluation and Assistant Professor from Department of Studies and Research in Economics and is also the Coordinator at Center for Economic Policy Research at Tumakuru University. He has served as Special Officer and Chief Custodian of Tumakuru University under UG and PG examinations. He has published various research articles in national and international journals and has participated as a resource person in many events and programs conducted so far.
Madam,
He has also been the organizing secretary of 5 national levels conferences, New Delhi. On behalf of all the participants, I once again welcome you, sir, for this online session.
Thank you.
I request you to kindly take over the session, sir.
Thank you, Madam Ji. Could you hear me all?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hello?
we can hear, sir. Sir, you can continue.
Good morning. Morning to everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Hello?
Sir, everyone can hear you, sir. I have muted the audio. You can speak, sir.
Okay. Yeah, please. Most respected B.A. Anantaram sir, Chairman, Governing Council. Ellen, but echo ಹೊಡಿತಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಸರ್ ಅದು
echo ಹೊಡಿತಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದೆ.
ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಹಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಇದು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಎಕೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಹೌದು, ತುಂಬಾ ಎಕೋ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ನಂಗೆ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಈರಪ್ಪ, ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಈರಪ್ಪ ಕೆ, ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್, Sheshadri Degree College, and Madam Professor Albert, and Madam Devi, and all the faculty members and my students and the people who are remotely with us to this short session. First of all, I thank the Sheshadri College for this opportunity, and it's a very timely presentation and timely. There is a word: in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. It is said by Albert Einstein. Back, ladies and gentlemen, you know that the world is facing humanity's biggest crisis. Almost every country has been affected by devastating this coronavirus. So it is not like what world has seen in 2008 global financial crisis. Even 1943, nearly 38 lakh people died in India due to starvation. Itself one kind of disasters. World has seen many disasters: World War I, World War II, many other disasters. This disaster is totally different. This is not financial crisis. This is health crisis. This health crisis has given birth to economic crisis. So, hello.
Audible ida.
Hello.
Sir, audible ida. Matadi, sir.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you are aware that this outbreak from China to Europe to US and the entire world is suffering due to this. As of today, nearly 3.95 billion people affected from this coronavirus, and nearly 2,95,000 people died. Even in India, 57,000 people affected, but death rate is very less. It is 1,886. What I personally feel that the main reason. Now let us talk about two issues. One is health aspect, another is economic aspect. So forget this economic aspect. So you might study the business cycle, up and downs due to various reasons is common, but health aspect. Okay, so now people realize that not wealth, health is important. Health can, good health can create wealth. Okay, so it is, you must aware that in 1991 July 24, government of India introduced the new economic policies. After introducing these economic policies almost 29 years back, we introduced it. I think it's the right time to retrospect the impact of globalization in India. Not only India, entire world must realize this concept. 1 minute. Sorry. Okay, so we have seen multiple disastrous problems. Okay, the 1991 new economic policy, you know, the way it has developed one kind of economic activity in the world. In India, the people, we changed our consumption behavior, we changed our spending behavior, our lifestyle has been changed. So we are living in our created, we live in a world where we created our own life, which is very much disastrous. It is proved by this pandemic. So we know that billions of people have been suffering from the impact of global pandemic of COVID-19 under 19. So it is a major economic risk. We say that it is a major economic risk. Along with this, before starting this pandemic, there was a very big problem that falling the oil prices worldwide. Falling world oil prices already made a greater impact on the economy. So the GDP has started coming. The one thing. Then we say that. So there is a silver line. There is blessings in disguise. So India must capitalize this situation. We should make it our favor. So entire world was looking towards China, but now we have the entire world is looking at India for its huge human resources. So we have thank our well coordinated administration, well coordinated leadership. And gentlemen, almost all the countries in the world have given some kind of stimulus to the economy. Even India, last Nirmala Sitaramji has given 1,74 crore lakh 1,74,000 crores stimulus to the economy. Stimulus to the economy. And in US, they have stimulated nearly 2,000 billion American dollar for the US economy. They injected money, but in India, the money what they injected is very less compared to US. But we cannot compare USA or Japan what money they injected into the economy because they're very large economies. But in India, the GDP rate was very low before in March. 2 years back, our GDP was nearly 8%. Before lockdown period, the GDP has come down to 4.5%. So it is the biggest effect on our economy. See, these are Sensex was almost 41,035 in February last. Now it is struggling to reach 10,000 or 33,000 points. While Nifty it was 10,154. Now it is struggling to reach 9,500. You know, the global outbreak it directly affected on Indian economy. So in 21 days lockdown, every day India has suffered a nearly 450 crores every day is another point. Then biggest problem of post-COVID economy activities, restating or restructuring our supply chain. So supply chain already devastated and it's out of way. So managing this very big challenge. Second one, creation of employment. Even US economy, we have said there is the unemployment rate is almost 14%, but today in India it is 26%. Out of 52 52 crore our working population, out of 52 crore population, providing employment or getting them involved in production activities is a big task even after COVID-19. So we have to control the value of rupee. So no doubt it is almost now 76, 77 rupees against US dollar. So in future days, we have to stabilize the value of rupee at least at the rate of 74 rupees or 74 or 75. biggest problem that we are facing is, the our economy has three parts. One is service sector, another one industry sector, manufacturing sector. See, in over the years in India, the service sector is contributing 54% of our national GDP. 54%. But the industry, the agriculture sector just 15%. But today, even today, we are giving more importance to the agriculture, where we get less GDP, less contribution to GDP. But see, they just lost to the Indian exchequer from the service sector. Service sector totally halted because of the lockdown, where we are not receiving nearly 54% of our revenue. Out of that, what I perceive that we are getting only now 10 or 20% of the revenue from the service sector. So restoring the service sector is the major challenge for the government of India to stabilize this exchequer, to generate income, to generate money, to meet the challenges of budget. Then what we say that, okay, there is lots of challenges, job loss, supply chain disruptions, and stoppage of productions, and the closure of the firms. There's no travels, no hospitality business has totally collapsed. Okay, no air transport, rail transport, no road transport, everything. No, the cinema halls, no malls are not operating. So revenue is already halted. Now, what I personally feel that we must take this chance to stabilize the economy. We have to identify new areas of development. We have to identify new areas of skills. We have to identify new processes to, and we have to identify new areas of jobs or employment. So I personally feel that the Indian human resource now proved that it is better than the developed nations. In India, COVID rate is nearly 54 57,000, but death rate is just 1,886. So this is the advantage, that the death rate is totally flattered. It's in diminishing rate compared to the developed countries. One point we must realize that in developed economies, even in Japan, even USA, even Germany, even France, Spain, where we could see more number of deaths, the average lifespan according to the Human Development Report, it's 80 to 85 years. Whereas in India, the average lifespan is less than 70 years. But our people survived. Our human resource is far better. What I personally feel that it is right time to rewrite the Human Development Report by keeping in mind the developing countries of the world. The world needs physically fit and mentally sound human resources. The developed countries showed that they are not physically, they are not mentally sound, whereas the developing countries, including India, including Pakistan, include the epicenter of coronavirus, China, proved that the manpower is strong, the survival rate is more. So this is the one thing. Another very important sector, even after COVID-19, we could see that development of healthcare and healthcare sector, healthcare management. See, in the healthcare facility is very poor. For every 1,000 people, we have only 0.7 beds. Okay. So in India, approximately we have 19 lakh beds for 130 crore people. That too, this 19 lakh beds are situated in only major some of the states, in Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal. This is one. So developing healthcare sector is the major challenge. Creation of employment, no doubt it will create employment in healthcare sector in coming days. This is second one, education sector. The big beneficiary of this COVID-19 is the education sector. What today we are seeing that online lectures, online classes, online seminars. So all the educational institutions, all the universities in coming days, they can think of starting online courses. So if they could save time, they could save money, they could save energy, they could save space. So the biggest advantage of this is India is going to get the education sector. No doubt, many countries of the world, they look forward to India for higher education. So India will become a higher education destination in coming days. Nowadays, our own Indian people are moving towards Australia or USA or New Zealand or European countries for higher education, whereas the present situation proved that India can sustain in the long term. So we can capitalize this situation, and we can make India as a very educational hub. Then second one, what I'm going to say, that the biggest advantage is going to the retail sector. So big basket or retail sector, they have seen their growth in lockdown period from 20% to 80%. Okay, so even groceries items, even vegetables, even yesterday Supreme Court has advised to give all types of food to do home delivery. Such these all create another of employment opportunities in India. So another type supply chain. It will create another supply chain in India. So it is the new type of employment, new type of skills are required in this. So retail sector also playing very important role. One. Another important point, what I could say that, yeah, the now no one people want not free. They want safe and secure products. This is another important. People expect they want very safe product, very secure product. So no doubt people will give more important to hygiene. So social behavior will become the new social norms. Okay, social distancing, it will be the day of the day every day. Social distancing, wearing mask, maintaining hygiene. See, social distancing, it is very hard to see in India. Wearing mask, it is very hard to see in India. Likewise, maintaining hygiene. So products related to maintaining hygiene, products related to social wearing mask will gain popularity. Production will go up in coming days. So this will create another effective demand in the economy, which will create uh, this effective demand will create more, allow us to produce more the product. So it will get the employment. Then uh, importantly, new types of creation of new jobs and skills is very important. In India, we have to concentrate more on creation of new jobs and new skills, keeping in mind the impact of coronavirus, keeping in mind the situations of lockdown. Then, you know that, then related to export and imports, no doubt, export and import. Many countries have stopped importing products from China. Many countries have decided to stop investing in China. So that all the developed nations, those who want to invest, they have on an eye on India. They want to invest in India, no doubt. When they to invest in India, it is the duty of the government of India. It is the duty of all the state governments to provide opportunities, facilities, basic infrastructures platform to that investors. No doubt, it is a big opportunity. Our FDI will increase, foreign direct investment will increase, employment level will be increased. Okay, we'll get money. Our rupee will be gained and it will be stabilized. So a very good opportunity where India can be another manufacturing hub, another production hub. So okay, it will be a big boost to make India in coming days. Okay, then the important development what we have seen that development of pharmaceutical industries. So during coronavirus lockdown time, all the countries demanded drugs from India. So our pharmaceutical industry has gained popularity world over because of lockdown. Now it is time to develop our pharmaceutical industry. So we will be the exporter of pharmaceutical product to the entire world. The another big advantage what we could see from this one. And you know that almost all developed countries want to see, they want to outsource the products. Even US, they want to outsource. So while outsourcing, they think India. They don't think of China nowadays. USA or many European countries, these European countries, USA today suffered because of China. Okay, China people traveled China Europe. People traveled Europe to US. In Italy, they made hug the Chinese event. So they hugged and spread coronavirus to everybody. So all these countries, all the European countries, all the even America, they want alternative to China. So no doubt, post COVID, they will look at India. They will see India as their favorite destination, and it's the duty of the government of India to capitalize this uh, demand. Then, what I personally feel that, see, usually last 2 days before Nobel laureate Abhijit Sen said that, okay, money to the people. Okay, give money to the 60% of the population. Give money to the 60% of the population means we had to give money to the 80 crore people of this country. We don't have that much of money. He says that you give the money to the people. If you give money to the people, their buying capacity will increase. If buying capacity increases, no doubt demand will come, demand will be increased. If demand increases, there will be employment. Where is employment, there is income level increase. So the problem is, already in India we have so many schemes that we are giving cash to the people. Narega, we are giving to the cash to the people. PM Kisan program, we are giving cash to the people. So many types of subsidy. Even in Karnataka 2 3 days back, chief minister announced 1610 crore people, lakh 1610 crore rupees, various sections of the society. So they have given bigger amount, but no doubt it will increase their purchasing. But giving free cash is not good to our macroeconomic stability. So I request the government, they should not think of giving free cash. So people know in 99 before 1991, before introducing globalization, people in India, they led very good. Okay, there were problems, but 1990 on, we created our own world of. So we have to change our living style. In 1991 onwards, we have created our own living style, our own consumption pattern, our own spending behavior. Where is the money? So whatever we earn, spending every money is not good. So what is the saving part? What is the investment part out of our earning? So compared to our savings, our investment and spending, there is a big mismatch. So it's a high time to think people to save for the future, to save for the future. Not only money, food grains, vegetables, whatever they need, they have to think forward, and they think cautiously to meet their future condition. They should be very much speculative, what I personally feel that. Then in Indian situation, what I personally feel that, see, for example, in many related to cryptocurrencies or fintech or artificial intelligence or machine learning, blockchain technology, we can develop that all things. Very good uh, concept. What I personally, what we in India can concentrate more on this, and uh, dependency of the action. This is very important concept. What we study here, dependency. So India is dependent on other countries for many products. This dependency concept is dangerous. Even today, we are importing kits, testing kits from China. We are waiting that, okay, we can borrow kits. Many kits we rejected. China is the hotspot of corona, and we are dependent on China for many products. Even for the pharmaceutical industries, the basic inputs or the raw materials we are expecting from China. So too much dependency syndrome is very, very dangerous. Then next point, what I personally feel that, so it is the right time to implement the principles of sustainable development in India. The UN climate change talking too much about climate change, climate change, climate change. We failed. It is right time to, not only India, the entire globe must. Morning, one of my senior professor gave me a suggestion that in India we have to ban all types of transportation after 7 p.m. to maintain ecological balance. I think it is a good idea. Economic activities may be halted. What are the advantages of banning transportation after 7 p.m.? We can maintain very good ecological balance. We can save many lives. Many acts taking place even night times. Okay, we can maintain good health of the drivers and conductors and the people who also involved in driving business. So it is right time to implement the principles of sustainable development. From 1987 onwards, we are talking about sustainable development, sustainable development. In the Kyoto Protocol, also we are thinking about the emissions. So in India, in the last 2 3 months, the emission level has been totally come down. It is at zero. So it is right time to implement the sustainable development. So economic development means not just earning money. Economic development means not just creation of wealth. Economic development involves, along creation of wealth, maintaining a very good health, creation of physically fit and mentally strong people is the need of the hour. Developed countries have failed to do this. Today we have seen the death rate is more than 62,000 in a top developed country in the world, that is in USA. Why so? Why is in Spain the death is so high? In France, every 1,000 they have 7 beds. See their death rate. More than 32,000 people died. India, we have only 0.7 beds per 1,000 people. The death rate is very low because so it's the right time to rethink, redefine so many concepts. Then next important point I would like to maintain. See, implementing strongly the Pura program. Abdul Kalam said, providing urban amenities to the people. Providing urban amenities to the rural people, Pura program. If we strongly implement Pura program, we can control the migration from rural to urban. Today, we have seen the migrants' labor disasters. Why people migrate from rural to urban? Then the biggest problem today during lockdown period we seen in India is the migration of the people from one state to the state. That is not in numbers, that is in lakhs. Just Delhi government uh, had 4 lakh migrated laborers from Uttar Pradesh. So why people migrate from one place to one village to another village? No doubt their beds. Okay, see there are slack villages. We have decentralized system. We have central government. We have state government, and again we have panchayat raj system. We decentralize our administration. We have Jilla Panchayat. We have Taluk Panchayat. We have Gram Panchayat. But why we fail to create a sustainable society? Why we fail to create a Ramaraj? Opportunity. There is base. Long we have given base through the Panchayat Raj system. Even today, people migrate from west to that urban areas. Today, Mumbai, Dharavi would see a small area, Dharavi, 1.7 acre place. You just see that more than lakh people living in Dharavi area. The infection rate is very high in Dharavi. These people, swam dwellers, migrated people. So it is right time. The another important concept what I would like to mention this time is government must seriously think about controlling the growth of population. Every year we are adding 1.8 crore people. That is nearly 1 lakh. 1 crore 80 lakh people every year we are adding to our total population. If we keep on adding this much of people, don't you think again it is a major problem to our economy? We have to provide education, we have to provide employment, health, sanitation, housing. So it's the right time. See today what I personally feel that if India's population was less than 70 or 60 crores or 80 crores, we would have been very good position. But it's the very right time to control the population. If we see China, USA, their population is 32 crores. The government of USA give the stimulus of $2,000 billion stimulus. They are capable because their population is very low. Whereas in India, give stimulus, we had to give it to the 80 crore people. Is it possible? Our GDP, our GDP growth, our GDP is nearly now just 3.5 trillion crores dollars. How could we put money, free cash to the people just to get demand? So, what I feel personally, India is a rich country inhabited by poor people, no doubt. We need very systematic population policy. We need very systematic fiscal and monetary policy. Today, all the efforts put forward by the government of India is wasted, or the benefit is less because of the high rate of population. So we cannot, every successive government, they're putting their efforts a lot to meet the demands of the people, but we failed because of the growing population. This Corona-19 gave us very good lessons to redefine the state of mind, to redefine our state of economy, to redefine supply chain behavior. relatedly supply chain behavior, and being seventh largest economy of the world, being a second populous country of the world, it is the duty of the institutional heads. Luckily, we have very good, strong leadership, very dynamic leadership, who is there to meet our requirements. Okay, so after lockdown period, this coronavirus will be there, maybe for 1 year, maybe maybe
ಅದೇನದ್ರ
for 2
ಬಗ್ಗೆ
years,
ಹೇಳ್ತಾವ್ರೆ.
maybe for 1 year, maybe for 2 years. Okay, it is time to cope with the situation. We have to learn to live with the situation. We have to live with the coronavirus for 6 months, or until drug must be traced. Okay, so my request to the fellow citizens, you must work hard. We have not, already we have taken lots of leave, so 8 to 10 hours per day hard work, that too productive, and stability of creation of employment is the very need of the hour, is very important. Then secondly, maintaining very good health. So health is everything. In future coming days, just 1 year, not 2 years, health will be prominent in our daily life, and more than that, nutritious food.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
So again, there will be demand for nutrition. Okay, so I think it's time to wind up. I think I had taken 30 minutes, maybe time restriction. Ellen, but Madam Sridevi, Madam.
Yeah, sir. 1 second.
Hello?
Just a second, sir. Just a second. Sridevi ma'am will come later. Sir, in 1 minute 30 seconds ಇದೆ. So hope we need to rejoin. I think so. I will invite Somairappa ma'am to speak few words regarding the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. It was truly
Madam,
informative. So thank you once again.
Madam,
ತುಂಬಾ
thanks,
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ
welcome.
ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ತುಂಬಾ informative ಆಗಿತ್ತು sir. It was the need
Madam.
of the day. And as you said,
Thank you, madam.
higher education is going to have a big demand in
Yes.
future.
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, madam.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll hand over to Sridevi ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Sridevi ma'am. Ma'am.
Sir, can you hear?
Madam.
30 seconds
Yes,
left.
madam.
Please speak.
Sir, if anybody having doubt, they can clarify their doubts. If
Through
anybody
chat box.
having any question, you can clarify your doubts.
Hopefully the session
Madam,
is going
madam,
to
you
end
can-
within a few seconds, sir.
You can put a message.
Yes.
Yeah, they could message the.
So one doubt I would like to ask, sir. Sir, regarding opening of these liquor shops, is it helping to uplift